everyone. So yeah, I'm here on behalf of writers, and we're really under the pump at the moment. The Productivity Commission is attacking us from a couple of directions. We are threatened with the removal of parallel importation protection. So at the moment we're a bit protected, where for a while they have to give precedence to books that are published in Australia. We get that little window of opportunity. It's not very long, but we get a bit of protection, and they're threatening to take that away. What that means in real terms is that our market will be flooded with international publications, and our books will sink to the bottom unseen. And we need Australian stories because we want to read that. It's like being flooded with American TV. We want our stories that reflect our experiences. The other way we're being attacked is also with the changes to fair dealing legislation. So at the moment we've got a bit of protection. You can use a certain amount of our work for, like you can photocopy a page of a work, but you can't use a whole lot. So they're trying to make it more American, where in order to protect it, we'll have to take it to court. The average income for writers is really not very much. For literary writers, the average yearly income is $4,000. And that's for successful ones. I'm not making that much. And because my book was published in England, I've actually got real experience of what happened. So in Australia, writers whose books are published here get paid 10% of the gross. I get 10% of the net. And there's a big difference between gross and net. So, I get about 50p a book. And then also with the copyright protection, that would take away I just got my first letter that came out of the blue, education lending scheme. Apparently there's 950 copies of Thrill Seekers in Australian schools, which I'm very thrilled about because it's about drug, sex, madness and rock and roll. And I got $670 because it was in the school. I didn't even know it was there. But if this goes through, that won't be there. And that's more money than I've earned in royalties. So that's very important. And what's happened with the cuts to grant funding in the literary world is that it's taken away funding from a lot of our small publishers, which means that when we want to submit a story to get published, we now have to subscribe to that magazine, which is fair because we want that magazine to stay alive, but it costs about $50. Our income is $4,000 a year, or less. I mean, we do other jobs, like everybody else, but it adds up. If you want to submit 10 stories, that's $500. There's your yearly income from your copyright education lending scheme. So, yes, we want to, the Productivity Commission is having hearings. If everybody can write in and just put a submission in as a reader, as a writer, whatever you can do. There was going to be a hearing in Brisbane, but they've taken it all away. They even took down we had a last chance today, and they took the Brisbane one off the list, straight after I registered. So, yes. And a friend of mine has pointed out that it's because really we're a bit of a threat, because the pen is mightier than the sword, and they don't like giving us money to write things that they won't agree with, and they don't have much control over that once they give us our grant money. I'm a big supporter of Australia Council. I've been applying for almost a decade, and hopefully this year it'll come through. If you've been lucky, it might be mine here too. So yeah, that's about it. We writers really need help and support. It takes a long, long time to write a book, years, and it's very hard to do when you are working, and especially for women. What's happening is we'll end up in the way it was in the bad old days, where it was the province of rich white men. And we're not going to end up hearing Australian stories, especially Australian women's stories.